Hello everyone and welcome to Final Show. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've just got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I want to let everybody know that our addresses have changed. Our Twitch channel has changed from Senstaku to twitch.tv/FinalShowFilms, and our YouTube channel has also changed to youtube.com/FinalShowFilms. Next, we want to thank our $20 tier supporters on Patreon, which is patreon.com/FFilms, by the way, if you want to go throw a couple bucks our way. That's going to be Cat, Waterflame, Antitonic, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Montee. Thank you guys for that. Also, our website is in the process of getting updated, so go take a look at finalshowfilms.com. We've got Mara and Jeremy are working on updating all of our stuff there, making it look nice and like a modern website, and frankly, they know what they're doing far better than I or Austin ever did. So if you want to check out the things that are changing over there, you go do that. Follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films for updates for all future things, including things that are going on with our website and are going on with the Patreon page, and things that are going on live as we stream them, as well as our podcasts and everything else. So thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a good day. And we're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this Final Show Films Hunt of the Vigil game, Terminus Tendency. I'm William, and I am the storyteller for this game. And we'll go ahead and start introducing our players, starting with Jack.
Hey, everybody. I'm Jack. I'm playing Eamon Mulcahy, the Irish Malleus Maleficarum.
And John.
I'm John, and I'm playing Sean Mulcahy, the Irish Malleus Maleficarum.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Nina Sky, Union Rockstar.
And Holly.
I'm Holly. I'm playing Astrid Ashwin, Knights of St. Adrian.
And Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig. I'm playing Paul Spanner Phillips, the Aegis Kaidoru acquisitions expert.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Erin, and I will be playing Drew, the Lucifuge book nerd of the group.
And to recap the events of last week, especially because we were missing one of our players last week, a caravan of arriving individuals of a more
undead nature
fanged persuasion proved to be searching for an individual who seemed to have escaped them after a brief amount of interrogation and a large amount of gunfire, most lethal of which coming from our absentee Sean. They learned that the individual they were looking for was a young girl by the name of Colleen, who seemed to have escaped the vampire's compound and from under the gaze of one called the Colonel. They learned that this individual female was supposed to be the key to unlocking or finding the Crimson Veil, something that would allow the vampires to conquer their greatest weakness of sunlight. While the shootout was going down, those who had stayed inside the house that the group had been using as a safe house for the previous interrogations, which were Astrid and Craig. Craig, your camera's gone, by the way.
There we go.
Yep. Astrid and Craig. Astrid and Paul. I say Craig. Astrid and Paul noticed a young 16-year-old female of short, sort of vaguely pixie cut, black hair, with sort of red tips and vaguely punk aesthetic, had snuck into the building behind them without any of them noticing. They offered to hide her in the cabinet until in the closet that was in the living room until things blew over. after which they learned that this was indeed the Colleen that the vampires had been looking for, and offered to bring her back safely to a different location for a while, since she seems to have escaped her captors. The group learned that she had apparently been raised most of her life under the care of a group of monks, who the group divined based on her knowledge of them that they seemed to be mages of a group known as the Akashic, or the Enlightened, as she said that they were also known. And upon arriving at Nina Sky's home, after an amount of drinking, not insignificant, especially for how young Colleen seems to be.
I believe the proper term was chugging.
Colleen proceeded to devise a concoction that she said would put her to sleep and prevent her from having nightmares, which apparently have plagued her for a long time. And after downing that and collapsing on Nina's couch, that is where we pick up with the group of you in Nina's home, with a unconscious 16-year-old on the couch.
Isn't there also a vampire in the bathroom?
Yes, also the vampire that you'd been interrogating, the first one that you'd brought to the original house, staked in the bathroom.
Yep.
And I think we had said last time, because you let me get the willpower back in advance, that whenever it was a good time, maybe starting off, Paul wanted to check in on his one-eyed king that he had slipped into the pocket of Jack Cross.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Paul, you can check on your one-eyed king in your own time. That seems like a private matter.
So
All
Paul,
right, let's get him out of the way now.
as you sort of pull,
You say get him out of the way like we're gonna run out.
as you pull one of these
for them to finish up and be done with this stuff for years. I think it's literally been years at this point.
Yes, it has literally been years at this point.
as Paul, you sort of pull this golden coin out and flick it across your fingers, and then bring it up to your eye and focus. Your vision blurs and then fades, and then comes to in an office. The coin appears to have been set in a glass case in an office on the back wall, with a sort of a very well upholstered dark wood table, and a very cushioned chair in behind it, currently occupied by a long-haired individual, very familiar identifiably to you as Jack Cross, who is sort of leaning back in the chair, just sort of mulling over a handful of notes in his left hand, held at just the right angle to not be fully visible to you. As he sort of mulls them over, he sort of folds them up, sticks them back in a drawer on his desk, leans back in the chair, and sort of looks over his shoulder directly at the coin, which your view is pointing out from. He sort of looks at it for a second, sort of smirks and chuckles a bit, goes back to what he was doing. Well, if he's watching right now, I'll get a kick out of this one.
The cinema sales counter just went up. Ding!
As he sort of hits an intercom button on his desk, bring him in. And the door outside swings open as an individual in what can best be described as modern monk. Very, very, it's very hard to describe this person's attire, because it's sort of like if you took the old Shaolin, the traditional Shaolin monk robes that you see in your typical historical renditions of the Shaolin, complete with the color schemes, the various different, very bright, very flowery colorations, and then trimmed it down into like a 3-piece suit.
Okay.
This person enters, head completely shaved bald, with a pair of black shades, flanked by a pair of what you recognize as Jack Cross's pack.
Okay. I assume you would tell me if I recognize this person, or should I roll for it?
You do not recognize this individual. And so this individual, this odd-looking human with the shaved head, sits in the chair opposite the desk from Jack Cross. As Jack leans forward, so, Brother Vigilance, I understand, is what you're called. And while that name might be more suiting in most cases, it seems you dropped the ball, doesn't it? The individual doesn't verbalize a response. He just sort of inclines his head in a brief nod, not even acknowledging the subtle barb. It looks like your charge got away from you, and a while ago. How long have you been hunting this person? 2 years is the very simple, short 2-word response. 2 years and you didn't find him. But my eyes tell me that the newcomers from the Mundanes found her. Indeed. So you have informed me. What more do you wish to speak to me of? Jack kind of leans back, looks over his shoulder at the coin again. Well, I could offer you more information on their location if you wanted to work with me a bit. See, I don't know what your order's doing around here, and I'd like to have a little bit more clarification on why you guys are here and what you're looking for other than this girl. And I'd like to know any of your business with the rest of the less than mundane folks of this city. The man doesn't even seem to raise an eyebrow at this. You ask much for one who offers little but information. I ask for important information to you, for important information to me. The other individual I will tell you some of what you wish to know. And then I'll tell you some of what you want to know. Very well. The purpose of my particular group is to guard, protect, and oversee the development of the girl. As she grows, her abilities increase. As she finds what she seeks, her abilities increase. And as they do, more danger arises until she can truly reach her pinnacle and seal her growth. And you haven't exactly explained to me what those abilities are or what they're related to. Nor shall I, until it becomes necessary. All right. Tell you what. Why don't you get a drink real quick? I got some business to attend to. Man nods, stands, and with his escort steps back out of the room as Jack sort of stands up, turns around, walks over to the case that the coin is in. Sorry, old man. Private business, you know. And he pulls on something.
Abort! Abort!
and a shutter closes over the glass case. And you notice that even sound through the shutter seems to have been muffled.
Okay. All right. I was going to try to jump out as soon as he started to reach for it, but if he's closing it out like that. So, and this is damping, I assume, the usual ability of the coin to sort of see its surroundings. It's locking whatever the magic of the coin is inside that small case.
Yeah, what it seems like is you've been given a camera on the wall, basically. Like it looks like the perspective of the coin has sort of been fixed, possibly by the housing that it's been placed in.
Okay.
To staring out from wherever it's mounted at the room in front of it.
Okay. That's interesting, and I think Paul would like to get a hold of whatever that enchantment is. But in the meantime, it seems like that's a limited vantage point now, so I'm going to go ahead and call the coin back.
And that just caused it to like reappear in your collection, correct?
I think it actually has to be overnight, or I have to go to sleep with the sibling on over my eyes. So I'm not going to take a nap right now, but if I forget to say it the next time Paul sleeps,
I'll remember that. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, I will relay everything that I just heard and saw to all the assembled folks.
So
making sure that Colleen is still sleeping.
She's passed out.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was going on for, I assume, the amount of time that it was that it took, because it's
it was a conversation. It took about a minute or two.
Yeah. Nina just looks at the cat like, that's just not fair, and just walks over, get to the cabinet. Who's having drinks?
I mean, do you have to ask?
Yes.
I just hold up my hand.
1, 2, 3. Drew.
Been a long day. Do you mind if and I'll sort of gesture towards the bedroom.
No. Yeah. So this is gonna be interesting. There's one bedroom.
I can sleep on the floor just fine. I just was hoping to do it.
Oh, that's not a
where we
problem.
weren't talking.
I mean, floor, bed, wherever. I'm gonna be in the bed, but
I'll get my rest in now so I can watch while the other sleep.
go.
So this is something that I probably missed because I wasn't here yesterday. Are we all staying in the same building?
Yes, it is a 1-bedroom condo.
Okay.
Big space. It is. I'm just gonna shortcut it. It is a stereotypical rock person apartment. Instruments in a corner. Eclectic.
I will find the requisite beanbag chair in her room.
Yes, because the room itself is not where the bed is. The bed is in the main room.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, the function is separate space.
Yeah.
But I am leaving Crowley in the main space.
I was gonna ask.
Big shaggy black dog. Looks kind of like what you would imagine the Hound of the Baskervilles looks like.
Is it Crowley, C-R-O-W, or Growly, G-R-O-W?
C.
Okay, Crowley.
Yes, it's the same two-pronged reference you think it is.
Okay.
Mr. Crowley, did you talk to the dead?
I believe Drew has said at some point to Eamon, no, I didn't name him.
Yep. Well, if it's nightcap drinks that we're having, then
Yep, I will pour several strong drinks.
I will drink several strong drinks.
I was going to say the brothers will drink all of them and then leave and then ask if anybody else needs some.
I'll say, are you sure you
I
don't
will
want anything?
match you drink for drink. What?
I was like, are you sure you don't want any?
Astrid will drink probably as much as the brothers.
I believe we're about to start having to
We
roll
are
some-
the
make some
worst
stamina
guards
rolls here.
ever. So by the time Paul gets out of his vision, everybody's just plastered.
Yeah.
It takes a while. You can't just
No,
down.
I know.
No, but
I mean, you can.
I like that image so much of Paul like. All right, so I've got some really. Oh, what the hell!
They're all clearly too plastered to be keeping track of the rules anymore.
Wait, what rules?
Usually people try and match each other drink for drink with some level of synchronicity before they get to the point where they're not keeping track of who's drunk.
Oh, no, that's far too structured.
Yeah. Mhm.
Rules are not allowed in this house.
This strikes me as a drink till you're bored sort of house.
Yeah,
I've been
well,
drinking for a
drink
long
till you're
time then.
bored, drink till you're inspired, drink until you're fucking someone, whatever.
Drink until you're done drinking.
I think Paul wakes up and just sort of quietly looks around and then looks over at the single gin and tonic he had poured for himself before he went into the vision and sort of pushes it over across the table and says, "All right, I guess I'm on first watch then."
Oh, do you think I can't function like this?
You do realize that I very often have to do sermons like this.
Astrid will grab that gin and tonic and down it.
Also, who drinks? Also, I don't drink gin.
Amazing.
So about 15 minutes after Colleen had passed out on the couch. So roughly 10 minutes after Paul woke up from his inspection, 7 or 8 minutes after everyone started drinking. I'd like everyone to roll me a wits and composure.
I never actually got like a full stat block for my dog because
That is a good question. Does the
basically it gives you a general spread and then says your GM's going to decide the details based on the kind of animal, and I just forgot to ask.
And Astrid slams an axe into the middle of the table.
Axes can see.
You have to switch to normal roll on the
Sorry.
character sheet. You were on attack.
Yeah, I see that.
Sheet.
I think I did that last time while I was
It's
trying to-
always funny whenever it happens.
I very nearly shot
There
somebody.
you go.
It's okay.
I mean,
I
it's
can use
funnier
my
when you're
own
trying.
stats ignoring the dog and then do it later.
Yeah, ignore the dog for right now because I will need to make a character sheet for the dog real quick. 1 second.
It's funnier when you're trying to socialize or seduce or negotiate.
Gunshot.
You roll an attack roll.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure that happened last week when I was trying to like calm down Colleen and I hit
Yeah.
my
Bang!
I need you to calm down now. Fuck.
he comes running into the room.
Shot Marvin in the throat.
So basically what you're saying is that this character sheet turns World of Darkness into Archer.
I was going to turn it into Pulp Fiction, but yes, that too.
I don't feel like one invalidates the other.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
Character sheet makes bad choices.
Pulp Fiction is just Archer with more racial slurs.
Speaking of bad choices, while we're waiting on whatever it is we're waiting on, I want to draw you all of your attention to this. So, as a voice actor, I often have to pick up these mouth drying mints so that my mouth isn't like sucked with juices when I try to
Full
do
of
VO stuff. This is one of the packages that came in the box of mints. It is not opened.
But it's missing several of them?
There is no mint in it.
Okay.
They're individually wrapped mints.
Yeah, packaging errors are.
I've had one of those. You know what? You go to a restaurant and they bring check-ins. I've had one of those without a mint in it brought to the table before.
Yeah.
That's an
must have
impressive
not tipped
level
well.
of the waiter not paying attention.
It's just funny because, like I said, they're individually wrapped, so it's like just an extra one just shot off the line without getting wrapped.
or two ended up stuck together and in a single package or something.
But yeah, it's funny. It's got a little bit of air in it too. It's like not a lot, but a little bit.
Okay.
So everyone saw something except me.
Yeah, apparently.
I don't need to see anything until I'm shooting at it. I'll let you guys keep a lookout.
So, Sean is too busy drinking to really pay attention to the area around, but everyone else notices when the area outside, all of the sounds outside of the building just go silent.
Meanwhile, I'm in here singing
Oi.
Betty Boy.
God
Aye.
damn it!
What?
Sean, lad.
What?
Drop it 9. You hear that?
No.
Somebody's... Exactly. It's quiet out there. Too quiet.
I thought that was a thing people only said in movies.
And that's where Nina goes over to one of the kitchen drawers, opens it up, and starts pulling out ammunition clips.
Mm-hmm.
Grab my rifle, load it up.
Yeah. Is it quiet as in something
like no sounds of the street? Nothing.
Like no sounds of the street, no sounds of animals outside. It's just dead.
Somebody just laid down a cloak of silence or something.
Okay. Can I roll to see if I'm familiar with spells or other effects that could cause this?
You can roll me intelligence and occult.
I would like to go look out a window.
And the clips are slid over to where Paul is, because Paul has the gun. And is also not somewhat intoxicated at the moment. So probably the best person to be wielding a firearm.
And I took a point in firearms since last time, so yay. I got 1 success on intelligence and occult.
I got 2 successes.
There are certainly supernatural effects that can induce silence. That said, there are enough different types of creatures that can do that it doesn't really narrow your options down.
That's fair.
As I go to look out the window, I look over at Eamon and go, "Bro, did you bring in the Winchester?"
Reaches behind the couch, hands it over.
I will grab the Winchester and the Dragunov and have both of them with me as I go look out the window.
Future reference. Don't hide the guns next to the person who just joined us, and we're not quite certain where their allegiances lie.
That's fair, but she would have had to scramble all the way over the back of the little settee you've got here.
We don't know. We don't know what she is. Maybe she can levitate it. And
Would you
fire
mind
it
not
off.
having this conversation while we're potentially under attack?
We can. I can multitask. Thank you very much.
I think every time anybody says anything, Paul just keeps going, shh.
Can I look out the window? What do
you really think they're not going to? We're the ones supposed to be surprised.
Sean, as you look out the window, you don't see anything out there except there's a mist rolling in.
Does that mean anything to me?
It's a mist rolling in.
What? Okay, so I need
Look,
a
the
little,
demons
I need
that
a
St.
little bit-
Wulfric fought back in 1183 were supposed to be preceded by
Right.
an order of silence.
I need a bit of clarification on the location that we're in. Information that I don't have currently. Are we in a single building, an apartment complex, a neighborhood, whether a house in a field?
It is a condo above a warehouse.
The condo above a warehouse, sort of standing
Kind
alone,
of by itself, yeah.
standing alone by
Yes,
itself.
lone standing. Yeah.
Okay, on a major street or out in the woods.
Yes.
Okay, on a major street. All right.
Yes.
Uh,
I like that. I like that you heard yes to an A or B question and figured out which one I meant.
yeah, because you started saying yes before I finished the sentence, so I figured it was the first part. Okay, so there should be traffic out there, but I'm not seeing anything.
Yep.
And what time is it?
Probably late evening.
So nighttime.
Yeah, definitely nighttime.
Yeah, because we haven't gotten to sleep yet.
Well, folks, there's a bit of a fog rolling in, which seems to me
Well,
a bit
that's not
preternatural.
Where is Colleen sleeping? Just on a couch
on the
middle of
couch.
room?
On the couch.
Is there a blanket or anything nearby?
No.
I mean, the bed is in the same
The
room as
bed
us,
has
right?
Blankets.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bed's in the same room. There's not a blanket like on the couch or on like any of the seats next to it.
Paul grabs off the bedspread or whatever is on top of the bed and just kind of tosses it over the couch so that Colleen is not immediately visible to somebody entering the room.
Now,
Um,
there's a thing. There's a thing I can do.
hold on. If they come in here and start shooting, and they're trying to capture somebody and aren't aware that the person they're trying to capture is on the couch is more likely to get shot.
I mean, I
They're not
hear
here
what
to-
you're saying. I
They're
hear
not
what
here
you're
to
saying.
steal.
This is still the course of action that Paul is taking.
Yeah, no, that was Nina actively saying it.
Um,
Yeah.
They're not here to capture. They're not here to murder her. They're here to capture her because she serves a goal.
right. Which
Therefore,
is
if we're no longer in a position to stop her from being captured, being hidden underneath a blanket's not gonna help.
and so your goal otherwise is to hide behind her. Look, I just want to add a little bit of confusion and stop them from being able to see her immediately.
I mean, no, not hide behind her. Prevent her from accidentally getting shot.
I'd like to prevent all of us from getting shot.
So would I, but that's a pipe dream at this point.
Well, have you got anything?
Eamon's posted up at the door listening.
I am beginning to mutter a prayer as I begin to cast True Sight of Saint Abel on everyone.
I'm hearing it now.
This is gonna be awkward.
Does that mean anything to me?
You're hearing owl noises in the mist.
There are owls
Yeah,
in the mist.
That
That's
could
not
not
suspicious.
be good. There is absolutely no way that's good.
Can I make any attempt at? Are there omens? Are there legends of magic mists with owls in them?
Let's see. The people who could theoretically make this roll. Sean, Eamon, and Astrid can make an occult roll. It's going to be challenging.
Okay.
Can I make the occult roll while I'm muttering a prayer?
Yes, go ahead.
Is it just occult?
Yeah, intelligence and occult.
Okay.
3 successes.
Everyone, by the way, everyone has 2 dots.
0.
Everyone now has 2 dots of the True Sight of Saint Abel, except for Eamon and Nina, who both have 4.
Cool.
Cool. What's that?
It's the thing that lets you see supernatural entities. And
I mean, what's the system for it?
Because
This was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. You can make resolve plus 4 for you guys now, and
Okay.
myself, Astrid, and Paul can make resolve plus 2. I didn't include Drew because Drew went to bed.
Yep. So here's a slightly tangential part of that question. Is that a reflexive roll that you guys need to make when you have something you can make it on, or just when you're concentrating?
Just for the remainder of the scene, they can do that to see things. And
Yeah, it is an active attempt to see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine for now.
Yeah, if they look, they would have to make the roll to see the dog for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
And even then, it doesn't tell you immediately. It just reveals the supernatural aspects.
Yeah. Sorry, that was an intelligence and occult.
I just was hoping it wasn't a scene of we're being stalked by something.
Oh shit, dog!
Oh shit, the dog now looks like it's made of hell.
And actually, because I've actually seen the dog's true form.
You've seen that the dog is demonic.
Because my mine was active when I first saw the dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will, after getting with the prayer, say, oh, by the way, in case anyone hasn't noticed, the dog looks a bit weird if you look at it under this.
I'm gonna put a pin in that for now and not even look at that because
2 successes.
Bigger threats at the moment.
And I'm also going to be rolling my resolve and 2 dots just to see if I see anything special.
So you have no idea how tempted I was to give my dog 3 dots of computers.
And so yeah, 2 successes on my intelligence occult, and my eyes are active.
Okay, yeah. So, Sean and Astrid, this isn't familiar to you. Eamon, there's something in the back of your mind that is, this mist is something bad, obviously, but it's something in particular, and you can't think of what it is, but you know you remember something about it.
Right, we're going to have to stay away from the openings. Keep clear windows, doors.
If you give me a few minutes, I can probably... if you give me a few minutes, I can send everything away, but it'll take me...
We have a few minutes.
It'll take me, like, a lot of minutes.
I don't think we have that many minutes.
I'm going to roll my resolve +4 to see if I can see supernatural things, too.
Yeah, I can do the casting out of witches, which will send whatever it is away. It'll send everything within 25 miles away. Everything within 10 miles away. But it takes me... each roll is 10 minutes worth of prayer, and I have to hit a 25.
Yeah.
So.
That would take you the better part of a day, probably.
At the very least, it would take me about an hour. Or
yeah.
more.
Yeah. Well, let's... Before we start shifting everything running the other way, we'd probably be best figuring out if Colleen's going to be affected by that or not.
Bye.
Is she a beastie?
Fuck if we know.
I'm check. That's a good point. I'm pulling the blanket back.
I'll look over my shoulder at Colleen.
Yeah.
So the first thing you notice is that Colleen has started tossing and turning in her sleep.
Okay.
Not great, but okay.
I'm rolling a resolve +4.
Eyes are on. The second thing you notice is that this girl she's mostly normal for the most part.
That's what my senior yearbook page said.
But there is a core of magical essence deep within her soul that is, it's like a compressed sun. It's this very bright point of light that is deep in the center of her chest that seems to be locked away.
So there's about half a beat as Nina absorbs this information. Goes, yep, still fuckable. Okay,
Isn't she only a 15?
God
I
fucking
didn't say I'm doing it. Let's not talk about that now. All right, plan.
If you need it, I can do confession here.
Plan. Oh, button.
I've got a box and everything.
Your head would explode.
How many of you are still looking out the window?
But
Paul definitely is. Paul has not looked away. Paul
So
just,
The two of you begin to see eyes in the mist.
We need plans.
Pairs
I've
of
got
eyes.
Are they Irish eyes that are smiling?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Do I
Just
my St. Luke is active? What do I see? Is it just eyes, or I should see the true form of whatever it is?
you see eyes, these pinpricks of crimson darkness in the mist. And you begin to see the faint shapes of owls as you focus on them. Just these shapes of shadows that take on the form of owls ever so fleetingly for a moment.
One might call it a court of? Never mind. So we need a plan.
Well,
I've got a bad one.
but whatever your plan is, I hope it accounts for the fact that there are a bunch of fuck-off red-eyed glowing owls in the mist outside.
It does.
Good, because there are.
Who in this apartment most closely approximates Colleen's stature,
I point.
including myself? No, I'm not. I'm asking our storyteller,
Oh,
including myself.
The closest person in height is probably...
true.
I mean, I'm fairly short. I don't know if that matters.
Yeah, actually, Drew's probably the closest person in height to Colleen.
All right. All right. So my plan is, like I said, I acknowledge before you start throwing out your criticisms, it's not a good one. But my plan is, I grab Drew. Drew approximates in as much as possible, Colleen. We make a break for it in the car. I'm assuming they come after us. You guys get her somewhere else. And we lead them on a merry chase.
My only problem with that really is that it's very likely they're hunting her in a supernatural manner.
I'm not saying that it's
No, I understand. I'm just pointing it out.
absolutely. They very well might be, but
Don't
there's
get
a
me
good
wrong,
chance they aren't too.
I applaud the bravery of the suggestion. I really do, but I
It's
don't
better than
necessarily-
trying to do a big firefight here.
There is something I'd like to try. It'll take me about 5 minutes. In the process of which you guys could get that plan ready, or any other plans.
Okay, I guess I better go wake up.
So, am I
Push open the
stealing her clothes, or do we have other clothes?
I
sort of?
think I have clothes that look like the kind of clothes that Colleen wears.
I hand.
Drew says, sort of sticking his head out of the.
Oh, good, you're awake.
I hand Eamon the Winchester. Cover
Takes
me,
it.
Cover me, please.
You know I'm shite with this thing.
And I'm going to go outside.
Paul,
Yes.
as everyone is preparing for this plan, and as you're just sort of keeping your eyes locked on the outside, just sort of watching these shapes moving in the mist,
Yep.
as you watch, you begin to see more definitive shapes begin to shamble through the mist. A pair of small humanoid shapes.
Oh, we've got company with a bit more definition coming.
As
Go ahead. Sorry.
one of the owls sort of flutters down to a lower point and stares directly at you, Paul, as its sort of ember-like eyes stare into your own, and it issues this screech that sort of echoes through the night. And as it does, one of these shapes walks through it and is revealed as you see a little girl. Probably wasn't more than 11, in a tattered, worn yellow dress of short brown hair, pale skin that seems to be decaying as if long dead. And the recognition immediately sets into you that you're looking at Emma.
Yeah. And the other one?
A small boy of about 8, in similar state of dishevelment of dress and paleness and rotting of skin.
So
as they shamble towards the building.
All right. Do I need to make a roll for my reaction here, or
it's up to you?
I mean, I think he's seen enough shit in general that his reaction at this point is just sort of muttering, "Bastards." Who else is looking out the window? Is it just Paul?
You would have just seen, because this would have been happening at this moment. I've gone outside.
Okay.
And William, I'm gonna need you. You're gonna have to make a ruling on what this does, because I don't know what this does with this particular creature, and neither does Sean. He's just trying it to buy some time. I go outside and I begin reciting the Vade Retro Satana to see if I can exorcise, banish, or repel, or in any other way abjure the creatures outside. It serves as an abjuration and exorcism action, which I am pointed to pages 213 and 214 in the World of Darkness rulebook as to how this works. And basically, I go out there and I chant for 5 minutes while rolling some dice.
Was that from the?
No, that's from the core book.
Conspiracies?
That's from the core book. It's on page 163 of the core book. Resolve plus composure plus benediction. I am trying to exorcise these demons.
Let's see.
Or spirits, or
I'll make
ghosts.
you to make the disguise roll depending on what a disguise roll is.
Well, no, it's targeted. It's not like it's targeted at entities. I'm not trying to exercise you or the dog.
No, that's not what I was talking about. I was trying to figure out. I was looking through the World of Darkness rules for disguising yourself as someone else, and I think they're complicated, but I also can't really find specific rules.
I'll get those for you, Aaron.
Thank you.
I got 3 successes, whatever that means in context of this mechanic that I haven't fully explored.
I'm going to wait to see if this does anything to what I'm seeing before
abjurations, like successes on abjurations say your character's faith and capability drives the ghost from his vicinity. The ghost is forced to dematerialize and cannot manifest again within the character's line of sight until the following day. And exorcisms say your character or the ghost has energy and determination. Your opponent loses 1 willpower point if you get the most successes. Like it's
after 5 minutes of chanting.
Yeah, it's a contest of wills between me and the thing and the entity. So I'm not certain how it's going to play out with these particular creatures, but I'm trying it to, at the very least, buy some time for them to enact this plan. That
I imagine I see it going like this: chant, 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 chant. 17,000 arrows come out of the mist.
That's why I gave Eamon a gun and said, "Cover me."
American gods.
But I am out there in my loud voice going, "Cruxanti sit mihi lux, non draco sit mihi dux, vade retro satana, nunquam suade mihi vana, sunt malaque libas, ipse venina bibas."
Well, getting dressed.
Meanwhile, inside the house.
Yeah,
Get all your clothes off and wear this.
Yeah, whatever. On the bright side, you can legitimately say we were drunk and it seemed like a good idea when someone asks you about the strange ritualistic noises.
Oh, I like that you think that would be considered out of the ordinary around here.
No, I assume that you conduct many rituals of a more disgusting nature.
Oh, we're gonna put a pin in that one.
How many pins are you putting in how many subjects tonight?
There's a lot of pins.
It's like the third one
because
already.
we haven't had time for
We have a voodoo doll of the conversations we want to have.
We haven't had time for a fucking conversation since the moment we met.
Where is Eamon in relation to Paul right now?
Eamon's probably at the next window over.
Okay, Paul looks over at him and says, voice a little shaky, and says, "Hey, Eamon, I gotta ask, do you see little girl and little boy?"
So if Eamon was in a position to see those two figures walking out of the fogs, given that his eyes are active now too, what would he be seeing?
The exact same.
Hi, we've got a pair of wee biters down there. Looks like whatever these ghosty owl demons are puppeteering them a bit.
And
Seems like they're already dead though, so I'm going to have a slightly less problem putting some bullets in their heads.
Paul pauses and says, "Well, anything you know about these owls? Chance they're illusions? Something to that sort?"
There's a phrase that you've been using around on the streets these parts that I've been hearing. Bad fucking customers.
Yeah, Eamon, those are my kids.
And there's a pause. You're saying they look like them, or?
Paul pauses a moment and says, "Hold on. I'm saying it's 2018." And he pulls out his cell phone and calls home.
yeah, your phone has no signal.
Paul stares at the phone and says, "That's about fucking right."
Try the Wi-Fi.
Don't have it, sadly.
Right.
And as the chanting is going on, by the way, it seems to reverberate through this mist, but as much as it seems to impact, the mist seems to swell back, as if the battle is not being won.
But does it seem like it's having an effect?
It's definitely doing something.
It
might not be doing what you want it to do, but it's doing something.
I will continue to chant my fucking lungs out until they're out of that building or they're gone.
William, question. As I'm getting dressed, one, do I need to make a roll for how convincing that is? And two, can I make like an occult roll for how something like this might be dispelled or canceled, or how long these things tend to last?
Yes to the second one. Jack, I believe you were looking for disguise rules?
I put the disguise rules into the Roll20 chat.
Just
there you go.
Wits and subterfuge and equipment on Drew's part versus wits and subterfuge of whoever Drew is trying to deceive.
It is
contested action.
It is worth mentioning that included along with it is a hoodie because we are hiding your head.
Yeah. Do we have any bonus for equipment or no?
Not really.
No bonus for equipment when the cis guy tries to pass as someone. Oh god, Drew is 29, so
it's more that you have basic clothing and not really any like makeup or real supplies to forge a disguise.
I was making a joke.
So, just for reference, hoodie, probably like, I don't know, cut off jeans.
Okay.
Something ridiculously inappropriate for poor Drew.
Important. I mean, the T-shirt is something that Drew actually owns from the character art. But like, question: anything that has explicitly satanic imagery?
No, not in this.
Okay,
case.
good.
It
'Cause
doesn't
that
really.
might have derailed things.
Yeah, no, not in this case. And I mean, generally, the idea is going to be you're gonna get dressed up, hood over in sort of a protective way, and then I will be like around protective running towards the car. I will be selling most of the fact that this is the person that you want, guys.
Um,
Oh
So-
wait, that's the wrong character sheet. My
William-
dog does not need to make a disguise roll
William,
because my dog is staying here.
Counterpoint, I think your dog definitely needs to make a disguise roll. Just because I want to see that.
Okay, give me a second.
William,
Get a little hat.
Each roll of the exorcism is
Takes 5 minutes,
It's 5
yeah.
minutes. So let me know when I can make another roll if it
Yeah.
becomes relevant.
This is all happening very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that I can change pretty quickly given my upbringing. One success to look like a different kind of dog.
So as this is happening, and as you're chanting, you begin to see more shapes, more humanoid shapes, beginning to walk through the mist.
And once Drew's all dressed up, all right, I'm gonna need somebody to give us some cover fire, specifically at looking like it's protective of us, to sell
As-
this fact. And we're
as-
going for my bike.
As the
Right
group
then.
as the group of you begin to gather around the door to try and see what you're going to do, try to get out, the mist has completely obscured your view of the road. You can't see more than like a foot into the mist. But stepping out of it is a dozen, maybe 24 walking corpses, each in various states of decay, with a handful that seem to be of note. Eamon and Sean, you recognize a few robed figures in the garb of a priest who you remember from back home in Ireland. People that you knew, but not particularly well. But two of you recognize very distinct individuals. Astrid, you see a more well-preserved body, as if this is as decaying as it's going to get, as a tall, lean male with sort of lengthy brown hair, a very neatly trimmed goatee, shambles out from the mist, his eyes glowing red and yet seeming to be shaped like an owl's, as all of these corpses seem to have the eyes of owls. But this one is noteworthy because of the distinctive leather jacket that it wears and the cavalcade of tattoos that stretch across his face, with the distinctive love-hate on the two knuckles of the hands that are slowly clenching and unclenching from claws, as this pale, well-preserved corpse of a man that you recognize as a man that you never thought you would see again, at least not in life, shambles out from the mist. Drew, you see a man that you knew you would never see again. A man who burnt to death, to ashes, in a gas station. Those hollow eyes that seem to have seen too much now replaced with the eyes of owls. As he slowly marches out from the mist. But there he is. There's Jonah as he makes his way towards the building. Nina, you see two people that you recognize. Not that it really meant as much to you, because Emil and Petra already distanced themselves from your life, but you recognize them, rotting, decaying as they march from the mist.
Nina reaches out, grabs the gun from Paul, just through the window. Bam, bam. That feels better. Let's go.
If any of them are getting even remotely close to where Sean is standing, Eamon's going to be trying to put bullets in him.
Everyone can go ahead and roll me gun attacks if they want to.
I don't think I can attack while chanting. So
who did Nina attack? The two that she recognized?
Yes.
Okay.
As soon as Nina's got that out of her system, we're going.
I graze one.
Sorry, I'm not up there firing with my 17 dice. I'm down here praying.
As Eamon grabs the Winchester that Sean had left as he went out to go and pray and pulls it up and fires, it clips across the shoulder of who are you aiming at?
Oh, wait, hang on a second. I didn't have any damage in there. Hang on a second. I need to re-roll that.
Go ahead. Who are you aiming at?
There we go. That's more like it.
That's better.
Probably one of those priests.
Yeah. As it clips across the shoulder of one of the priests, it sends their arms sinking out to the side, completely dislocated, but it continues to slowly lurch forward. As everyone else's shots seem to either just aim wide or don't even seem to have any impact on the forms that they're striking. As they see more of these owls begin to coalesce in the mist behind these bodies that begin to proceed to march forward. It's going to be difficult to try and push past them. They're sort of surrounding what would be your path to the vehicle.
We know where the vehicles are, though, right?
Vaguely, but you can't see, like I said, more than a foot in front of you in the mist.
Clear me a goddamn path.
Paul kind of reaches out and grabs unsteadily at Nina as she's moving forward and said, you recognize some of them too, right?
Which one's Nina?
Oh, yeah, it's my parents. Let's go.
Oh, I fucking hate these things. All right, yeah. Okay. And he just is following her.
Okay, change of plans. I'll stay back.
Following her because she's heading out the door.
The plan was I'm leaving with Fate Colleen and hopefully pulling some away to give you guys to get a chance to get real Colleen away.
Yeah, but you took the gun that I had to cover.
Oh, no, I handed it back.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. Okay.
Sorry. Yes, I handed it back.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it was my gun originally anyways. I was just...
Yeah, I know. But I mean, my point is, without the gun, I'm standing in the window going, pew, pew.
No, legit. I mean, you could always always wake up.
One of us can buy you a black market gun later. Now we have a thing we're doing.
I have 4 guns. Just
no, it was just as far as what he had. I'd rather provide covering fire with the gun than harsh language. So
legit.
Okay, yeah. Then I think he will go ahead, not at the 2 that look like his kids, but at the other shambling hulks. He will open fire.
I will continue to pray harder.
We're mostly concerned about the ones that are between us and the car.
I got one.
If those happen to be small and filial, shoot away. Suck it up. Anyways,
the autoloader clicks across and slams into the shoulder of that perfectly well preserved corpse that sort of leans back as some of the tattoos across its body begin to glow faintly.
And yeah, I am like I said, to sort of obscure Colleen's identity somewhat, but make it clear this is somebody is willing to jump out into a group of monsters to try and protect and get away with.
So is anybody staying up in the apartment currently, or are we all headed to the cars?
You, Paul, Astrid, and Colleen are staying up in the
people who are
apartment.
headed out right now are the two.
You just wanted to make sure I had that.
The only people who are outside are me praying and those two running.
Okay.
Yep. Well, Jesus, my actual door just popped open, so excuse me, I'm gonna go have a heart attack and close it.
Do you see anything with owls?
Speaking of Jesus, is 5 minutes past yet?
Nope, this is all.
All right.
Minutes are long, man.
They are, but they had to get dressed and then get freaked out and then...
I mean, I feel like the freaked out is happening concurrently to the we're already headed out the door and running.
Yeah. So, as you all attempt to head out the door, the two of you, yeah.
Y'all can still be two.
This is true.
As the two of you attempt to push through, immediately, Emil, Petra, Jonah, and what you recognize as a couple of the members of Underrated Anarchy, now that you look again.
Oh, good. More people for me to shoot.
Begin to shamble in your way and begin to block your path.
If I could shoot while praying, I would, but I...
Yes, you've made your choice of actions. Yep. We understand.
I'm hopeful that those at a somewhat elevated position at this point.
So the rest of you see these particular corpses begin to shamble into the way of the group that is escaping. As Astrid, you see that your brother is just about at your window, walking straight towards you.
I thought the apartment was at like a second story.
Correct.
Yeah, the apartment is, but those of you who are trying to get out the door, and those of you who are covering...
Yes, there is stairs and...
Yeah, and at your window, he's just about right below you.
She's going to aim for the head and shoot.
Roll me an attack.
If you're headshotting, that's usually a -3, right?
She's got elevation. It's just firing down.
Fair.
2 damage.
Did you not put in your firearm skill? Because I'm pretty certain you have some.
I think I do. Hold on.
Because you're rolling as if you have no dots in firearms.
Yeah. I know that I had... I don't know where the original character sheet is that we worked on together.
I know you had at least 3. I think you might have had 4.
Okay.
Go with 3 for right now until you can find your character sheet.
Okay.
And then an extra 1 because I know you had a revolver specialty. So you get to add the extra 1 die for your specialty.
Okay. 4 damage.
Yep. So as you just aim down with the revolver and fire, the shot connects square in the forehead as the head jerks back and leans back forward again as it locks eyes with you. Those owl-like orbs staring back up as more of these tattoos across this individual's form begin to light up ever so faintly, as if reflecting light.
Well, that's a bit disconcerting, no love, isn't it?
As it puts a hand on the wall and begins to climb.
From where he's standing, what's Eamon's view of Nina and Drew making their way to the car?
You can see that they're out the door. There's a group of 5 or 6 of them that are currently in their way towards the car.
Okay. He's gonna start hitting legs.
right, roll an attack.
All right. Is he at the standard -2 for legs?
-1 for elevation.
Okay. I get a kneecap.
Your shot graces across slams into the knee of one of these individuals. Then the knee buckles for just a second, and then it straightens back up.
I don't like how little tissue damage these fuckers are taking. And he'll keep firing whenever it's his turn.
As
We'll do the same.
Paul, go ahead and make another shot.
One damage as well. I'll try to hit the same one that Eamon just shot.
A center mass, just a bullet clips into their chest, and they stumble backwards and continue to move forward. As Emil reaches for you and attempts to strike at you, Nina.
Okay.
What is your defense?
Probably 2. Hold on.
Did I ever get that occult roll for how to potentially?
Did you make that? Did you make that one? I'm sorry, I missed it. If you did,
I never got if.
Yes, you can. I thought I had said yes, you can, and then I believe Jack was looking up the rules, but that might have been lost.
All right. I assume intelligence and occult.
Yeah. You said it was 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 successes.
3 successes. If this isn't just a group of monsters approaching, which it doesn't seem like it is because of the odd circumstances, you suspect that the summoning is being channeled, which would imply that whenever whatever is causing it is disturbed, it might disperse. Or attempting to dispel it with more powerful force than whatever is calling it, but that seems more difficult.
I'll try and keep as much of an eye as I can, which is rather limited out as we're heading forward.
So you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage, Nina, as Emil slams a fist across your torso, very sort of just haphazardly, almost like a flailing limb.
Is that a noticeable impact?
Yeah.
Okay. Paul was hoping they were completely illusions.
Who's still in the building at this point?
Paul is.
Paul, Astrid, and Eamon, and Colleen.
Paul, would you like to roll me a wits and composure? As the one
probably not, but I will. I almost rolled gun.
I will roll my gun to
composure. Bam.
Bam.
Holy
indeed,
shit.
motherfuckers.
That's an
Boom.
Wow.
So as you're trying to focus on anything but the sight of your 2 children down below, you hear a noise on the corner of your senses and turn, and you see that Colleen has broken out into a cold sweat and is rapidly tossing and turning and has actually rolled herself off of the couch and is now on the floor.
Okay. Paul will turn to, again, who's closest? Eamon still?
Eamon's closest, yeah.
Paul will turn to Eamon and say, I don't think I'm being much help with the shooting. You mind covering him? I'm going to go see if she's all right. And we'll wait for confirmation from Eamon.
Whose immediate response is, you might want to wake her the fuck up in case Magic Dream Girl is the reason these fucking things are here, and maybe she wakes up, they'll go away.
Paul nods and says, yeah, certainly on my list of things to try. And we'll go over and I guess first, probably like you would touch the knob on a door that you're not sure if there's a fire on the other side.
Right.
The back of his hand to her forehead, and then assuming she's not literally burning up, we'll try to.
She's just in a cold sweat.
Okay, we'll try to gently wake her up then.
Roll me.
I don't know, what is it? What role is it to make sure that your head doesn't spontaneously explode?
That's usually dexterity and athletics to kind of get a good grip and hold it all together.
No, to make sure your head.
Oh.
Roll me.
Usually revolving composure.
No, I'm just trying to see how we would attempt to wake someone up.
No.
Strength and athletics.
Parenting.
I was like, how
Dexterity and brawl.
Firearms attack.
How are you?
Yes.
How are you attempting to wake her up?
Gently at first, because if Paul's thinking at least is if she is any way tied to this, or
are you just trying to like gently shake her awake, or are you just trying to talk to her?
I mean a combination of those two things, sort of in the we don't want to be late for school tone of voice.
I mean, she has, in his first mention, she has not woken up after several gunshots have been fired in her immediate vicinity. So perhaps hey, honey, it's time to wake up is perhaps not the best idea.
To be fair,
Craig as a player, hear you.
Paul, yeah, I know.
It is very nervous about doing something like that to someone he is increasingly certain is an arcane powder keg. And
Jack, as a human being, would like to tell you that it is possible to sleep through gunfire in the next room. I grew up in the mountains.
It is.
Roll me manipulation and expression.
Okay.
The question is then if a soft voice is going to wake you up, and I guess it depends on the specific kind of neighborhood you lived in.
Well, like I can sleep through gunshots, but if my son starts crawling on the bed, I wake up instantly.
That's reasonable.
It's what you're tuned to.
One success.
All right, let's see how deeply she's asleep.
Yeah, I mean, and it really is that sort of Colleen. Hey, Colleen. Sorry. We've got a little bit of a situation. You might want to I mean, and again, I know as a player how that comes across. Paul is very nervous.
No.
Hey kid, we can't be late for the demon owls.
That is the most British thing that could possibly have happened in this instance.
Sorry. We have a little bit of a situation. Sorry to disturb you. I want to wake up.
So with 4 zeros and 3 1s, or like with 4 nothings and 3 1s in the die roll.
Damn.
That was amazing. As you proceed to gently wake her up, something snaps and she bolts upright and screams. As she screams, it sort of echoes and shatters all of the sound that is building throughout this area, which was still eerily silent, but there was just this low moan, this hooting noise building. All of that shatters underneath her scream, as almost as if underneath the sound passing over it, everything turns to mist and vanishes. The zombies, the owls, the fog itself just drifts away.
The wounds?
Nope, you still took 1 bludgeoning damage.
I had to ask.
So,
Standing
and
there.
we all sit up, still in the apartment, right?
No.
Okay.
Paul breathes out a long, slow sigh and sort of sits back. On I think before now he was kind of crouching, and he sort of sits back onto his ass, and just tries to catch his breath and looks and sees what Colleen is doing now. Is she still screaming?
She had a several seconds long scream. And now is just kind of looking around, kind of wild-eyed and hyperventilating a bit.
Paul, I think will say, so Did any of the monks ever mention to you that you have some absolutely fucking awful night terrors?
Meanwhile, outside.
I mean, with the context we have, we heard a scream,
Yeah.
everything dissipated for a second. I'm
still
presuming
like-
we're still heading for the car.
I look around. Everything's gone.
I look at my cross.
I briefly consider continuing the charade just because it would be funny.
I think
Hello?
yeah, okay. I think Paul will then sort of stumble over to the window and see if he can see anybody outside now that the fog is gone.
And after you stumble over to the window, she seems to have processed what you said to her, and she sort of looks over. You wonder why I drugged myself. Not strong enough, apparently, tonight.
I look up at the window, or over at the other two out in the parking lot with me. I just hold up the cross and then hold up a thumb.
Yeah, I finally let go of Drew.
Astrid just crumples to the floor.
Eamon heads for Astrid then.
All right, false alarm, folks.
Yeah.
Everybody back in the house.
Head back inside.
Yeah, Paul will sort of wave to everybody, and then turn back around and see what Colleen is doing. Is she like okay now, or is she?
She's winding down.
Okay.
Yeah, right there, Miss Ashwin.
I will
Colleen,
be.
babe,
Just
if
give me
you
a minute.
really... I mean, I'm not saying that I'm annoyed, because I got to do some very therapeutic things there. But maybe next time, if you know that your dreams manifest physical things, maybe explain that to your protectors.
Paul nods and says,
I
just had to look at undead visions of my kids, so not my favorite vacation night so far.
Drew had to dress up as you.
Yeah, sure. That's definitely worse.
That's that's almost worse.
Colleen looks over at Drew. That's what you think I look like?
No, that's what I have. 3 minutes
Would you
and somebody who
I'll grab
vaguely
Eamon.
approximates your
Would you
look.
prefer it be him? I honestly cannot see.
Paul, I think, raises his voice for the first time that anyone has heard it and says, "Could we please focus on the fucking zombie-making owls for a moment?"
I
What
mean, they're
was
gone.
that?
But yes,
I've got no idea.
I think somebody does.
Honestly, I
Given
really...
that my hunt specialty is kind of dreams and dream-related things. Do I get a roll on this?
Yes, but I think this will be particularly difficult.
That's fair. Mostly I'm going on inference, but intelligence and occult? Or
Yes,
Okay.
intelligence and occult. I really don't. With 2 successes, there's a lot of things that manifest from dreams. Those are not anything you're familiar with.
Okay.
I really don't know what happens during that. All I know is that the nightmare that's been around me for the past while has been shapes and eyes in mist, owls on the trees, and things that walk, the dead walking.
That how you got away from the vampires?
I just wanted to leave and started walking. And
Valid desire.
eventually managed to make my way out. I barely remember how I got out. I don't remember a lot of it.
Well, you're fine. Nobody who owns the place where you're sleeping is mad. I can't speak for anyone else, but
That's a very specific set of qualifiers on that statement.
Well,
I have
I'm not going to speak for the rest of you.
I appreciate that, and honestly, that's why I self-medicate, she says questioningly, but apparently not a strong enough dose tonight.
Oh, if you want drugs to the point that you can't stream, I can hook you up as far as that goes. Or I don't have them currently because dreams are useful for me, but I can definitely get them.
Usually once I wake up, it doesn't happen again in the same night, but I'm probably not going to sleep. I'm probably not going to sleep again just to be safe.
Look, it's probably not even a concern of yours at this point, but I'm not mad either. I'm just disappointed. No, I'm not mad. But please, you need to tell us if there are other concerns like this that might happen again, or anything else that we should know about. Look, just because if it were to happen again next time, we could just wake you up before we open fire and anything else happens. I mean, we're about to send some of our group driving off into the mist, and I'm sure that would have been an absolute arse of an evening. So if you know anything else that we might encounter while we're trying to help you, while we're around you, it's fine. All of us have things going on. All of us have been touched in some way by the supernatural. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to demonize you. Sorry. He looks over at in Drew's direction. Sorry.
Make your points, and I'll make mine.
But we need to know what to expect.
I wish I could tell you what to expect. The monks never explained anything to me about what these things that happen around me are or what causes them. I just know that when I get stressed or frightened, or when I particularly need something, or things happen around me and I don't know how or why or what drives it, but...
Hey, wee bit of a question for you, Miss Colleen, if you don't mind. Are you looking to get back with the monks? Did you feel safer there, or are you looking for something else entirely?
I was safe, maybe, but at the same time, starved.
Sounds like a no to me. I have a question. When you say they didn't really tell you anything, do you get the impression that was because they didn't know, or that they knew and didn't want to tell because insert apocalyptic reason here or selfish reason here or whatever the case?
I definitely think they knew something at the very least. I don't know if they knew everything, but they definitely didn't want to tell me something.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, Nina.
Didn't you... Wait a minute. That may have been out of character. I don't know. No. You did say something about... Didn't you say you know some mysticky types or deal with mysticky types or something like that?
Well, more on the mystical items, although the Aegis in general certainly is, handles its fair share of mages, wizards, warlocks, whatever you want to call them.
Sounds like we need to talk to some mysticky types.
But there's another conversation I think needs to happen first. And Eamon puts a hand on Paul's shoulder. Call your family. Set your mind at ease. We'll be here.
Oh, yeah. It's decompress time, for sure.
Paul smiles crookedly and reaches up and kind of squeezes Eamon's hand on his shoulder and says, yeah, let's see if we've got signal again. Excuse me. Drew, you finished in the back room? For a moment?
You're muted.
I'll sort of wave off Paul with a, yeah, go ahead.
He's going to step back there and call home.
That's mighty good, actually, because, Drew, I need to have a word with you, lad.
And
What a coincidence.
as you go over and make the phone call, your wife picks up. It's morning around that area, so she's sort of just waking up, sort of just having her morning tea. You have a quick conversation with her. She tells you the kids are fine. They just went off to school.
Thanks, love. Laura, when I get home, give him an extra hug from me.
Of course.
All right. Be home soon. Trips, you know how these American art dealers are.
Of course.
It's maybe a little bit more complicated, but we'll wrap it up, and I'll be home as soon as I can.
Well, stay safe, dear. I love you.
You know me. Travelers, checks, and boring hotels.
I think it's a little more adventurous than that at times. I know you.
He smiles and says, all right. See you soon. Love you.
Love you too.
And hangs up.
Alice isn't dead reference here.
Meanwhile.
Yeah.
And then he'll come out and rejoin the group. But I would assume that whatever.
Yeah, it'll be a few minutes. Yeah.
You mind stepping out into just outside the front door with me for a minute?
Looks down at the rock girl dressing I'm still wearing.
I want to be clear. Cut off jean shorts.
Rock girl aesthetic. I apologize.
There wasn't time for nylons, but it's fine. We're on a time frame. Next time you have to pretend to be Colleen, it will look much more realistic.
So,
Wait until I plant my face into a lamppost because you can see I can't. Yeah.
So, I've been noticing you're, shall we say, a bit less than comfortable. What's your issue with our van?
Okay, so because it was kind of glossed over in the joke, who came out?
It was, Eamon was trying to take Drew and only Drew outside.
Yeah, Nina's not gonna follow. She's just gonna wait until this conversation is done. Let Eamon walk inside.
Okay, I'm being
And body block Drew.
That was what I needed to know. Have you worked with my Maleficara before?
Not me personally, no.
Well, many of us, we have things about stuff like most, like, well, we're not, okay, I don't know a ton about, but mostly folks, Astrid, Nina, you, your brother, Paul, I'd guess. Most folks like us, like you, get caught up in this one way or the other and sort of end up in this as a thing that happened in your lives.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not really like that for us. We're a little more tied into it. We're human, but we're not. I guess you could say that I don't shoot firebolts with the force of my prayer. I shoot firebolts with the force of what I sort of already am. So,
my teachers told me about the bloodlines for certain.
yeah. So you might understand, given that the thing I can summon with my you said bloodline, that fits, is hellfire. I might have holy ground church vans, I would be rather disappointed if you didn't notice the hell dog. Yeah, not quite an option for me. I don't have a problem with you or churches.
So what you're saying is that based on your lineage gives you an affinity for things that most people would consider to be a bit on the opposite end of the spectrum from a brother and me, and you're worried you're going to break our van.
I'm more worried your van is going to light me up on holy fire.
All right. Well, while the warding and consecration of areas is definitely something that the Malleus has a bit of expertise in. Yeah, we're not going to fuck you up because you got in our van.
No, it's not. It's more.
And if you're worried about the van being itself innately consecrated, let me tell you, most of the things that have happened in that are decidedly unholy.
Yeah, I've gathered you take whatever tenets you take quite loosely.
And sure, maybe you can't set foot inside the bounds of Our Lady of Lords, but Drew, it's a fucking van.
Wait, back up half a step. You actually call it that?
Amazing.
What I'm saying is, it's a vehicle like unto any other, and while its purposes might be a bit beyond the scope of most other transit vehicles that operate within the bounds of this metropolitan area at large, yeah, we'd have to do some serious work to make it so that it would give you less than a comfortable ride from place to place. And
yeah, I do understand that there is nothing mystical or symbolically. Well, I do understand that your van is not.
The van of God.
I am the van of God.
Already established. It's a fucking van.
No, it's the van.
Yeah,
It's the
van
of Maria.
I get the occult element of that. We've all got our peculiarities in that direction.
Aye, it's just that my brother and I are sort of, by dint of the fact that we've got this big fucking vehicle, sort of the de facto transit organizers of our own little group that we've got here, and I'm just trying to see what's going to work best for you.
I could buy a car. I just shouldn't I legally can't. Also shouldn't.
Oh, no, I'm not planning on. I'm thinking having you behind the wheel is going to be definitely a last resort sort of thing any day of the week. I'm just, if everybody can fit in one vehicle, that's grand. If you need additional accommodations to make it so that the van works for you, we'll do whatever we can. But it's not going to light you on fire?
Not intentionally, anyways.
There's nothing consecrated about our fucking van.
No, but if it flips over and explodes, it meant...
Well, okay, yeah.
We get in very GTA situations. I think that's the mutual understanding we're working with.
If we accidentally drive into an oil refinery, we can't make any guarantees there.
At some point, the van explodes.
Accidentally.
At some point, the van explodes because a bomb was put under it. And the last thing Eamon remembers is Drew screaming, "You lied to me!"
Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there so that we're not leaving your arse on the side of the road anymore.
Fine. Sure.
All right, well, if there's anything just let me, give me a shout.
Yep. I start to head back inside, and I
Yeah,
assume
while that conversation had been going on,
Yep.
and while the other conversation had been going on, I'm gonna head over. I'm gonna grab a bottle off of the table, walk over to where Astrid, I think it was sitting down on the floor.
Yeah.
Had you moved at all?
No.
Walk over, lean against the wall, slide down, and hand the bottle over to Astrid.
She'll take it. Thank you.
How you doing, love?
I'll be okay. She just starts downing the bottle.
Well, if you drink like that, you certainly will be after a while. So, I was down on the ground, sort of chanting at the wind the whole time. Didn't actually see everything that was going on. What the fuck happened?
Did you not see the people?
I was when you're out there, it was really only a foot ahead of you could see in the fog.
Okay. The owls were casting images of people that all of us knew.
Ah. That would be why the gunfire was a little bit sporadic. And not in the right direction.
I believe 2 of them were Paul's children.
Oh. That would suck. How'd you get on?
We made it through.
Reach over, just sort of pat your knee. Well, if you ever need confession, I've got a portable box out in the van. And just sort of give you a grin.
Don't think I'm that desperate, but thank you.
Always a good listener. And I will reach into my bag, pull out a separate bottle, uncork it, and drink right next to you. Hold up the cross. It was working a little bit.
Right.
And I will just sit there and drink next to Astrid while everyone else has much more deeper conversations.
Colleen, meanwhile, over on the couch, has pulled from her bag this long string of dark wooden prayer beads that are in this sort of necklace shape, and sort of sticks one hand through the combination of the other hand and twists and forms kind of a loop of the 2 prayer beads so that her hands are sort of semi-bound sort of by the beads, and just kind of holds her hands together and just closes her eyes and presses her fist to her forehead and just starts to mutter under her breath.
As a half-trained person of the cloth, do I recognize that?
It's more Oriental. It's not really like a European religion style of thing, so probably not.
Okay.
I just take note of that. I'm not going to interrupt her. Huh. Okay. Whatever works. And basically, Nina is just sort of has grabbed a ball and is just sort of pacing, waiting for the door to open.
They start
At which point, the door begins to open.
Ava gets grabbed, yanked inside. The door shuts. With me outside. So,
And Eamon outside too, because he was behind.
The goal is for Nina to switch places.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Yanked you inside.
Oh, you yanked me inside. Okay,
Yes.
sorry, I lost that.
Eamon.
Okay.
No, we're not locking Eamon out
Sorry,
because
it did.
he
It
had a conversation. That would be mean.
It did sound like you said Aaron, and that was where the confusion arose.
Sorry, I got mixed up.
No,
My bad.
no,
I've noticed
because
that
of
every
Eberron,
game
I
have a character
always
that
use character names.
Yeah.
actual name sounds like someone.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Always use character names.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason I don't recall at that moment, and then I just say whatever your character name is, John.
I raise a glass
but
to
yes.
Eamon as he gets yanked in and starts singing.
So Ava's like, "Yo!" and door slams. Sup?
Hi.
What's your deal?
I'm 29. I don't look particularly 16 to her own summoned hallucinations.
Yeah, I was working with what I had. That's not what I'm talking about.
I'm not
Swig of
really the person to negotiate with.
Also not what I'm talking about. You can dance around it, or we can just get it right to what's your deal?
Let's see.
You've been snarky and bitchy to me this whole time. And I'm a pretty decent, easygoing person. But
Looking for a particular role, Aaron?
I was trying to fight with the character sheet to let me roll it.
Okay.
Sorry. Well. There's definitely a longer pause than there needs to be.
Mhm.
And Drew sort of you're probably still wearing the same shirt, correct?
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss something. Points sort of dead center on your chest.
I have so many questions about the fact that you're that in character. I have so many questions for the fact about the fact that you even know what's on my shirt. But
my vision's worse close up, but
noted. Fair enough.
Most people don't translate occult tomes into Braille or put them on audio on Audible, so I'm really good at guessing simple words about hellish intentions.
Okay. And what's the what? Yes.
How much do you know about the Maleficarum?
Lucifuge.
Fine.
Maleficarum is the Catholics.
I mean, how much do I know about the Lucifuge?
That would be your choice.
Trying not to assume this stuff.
Yeah, that'd be your choice of intelligence occult or your choice of intelligence politics.
I am equally equally mediocre at both. Not an attack roll.
Yeah, because the union doesn't have like significant ties with the Lucifuge, so this is mostly going to be.
I'd say I know a decent amount.
Yeah, actually, you know of the Lucifuge, and you know their reputation as all of them are the spawn of Satan.
Yep.
You don't know how true that is, but you do know that
Right.
that's their rep.
I'd say I'm familiar. Oh, sweetie, do you not know the difference between a Satanist and a Luciferian?
I know that I don't typically necessarily hunt people like our house guests. Those that proclaim loyalty, allegiance, submission or otherwise to hell and to the devil is.
Oh my God, no. You don't understand. That's the difference between a Satanist. Well, okay, they're theistic Satanists. That's fair. But that's not what I am. I'm certainly not a Luciferian. Fuck Lucifer. No, Satanism, as most people most people outside of 1980s books on the subject, written by police, quote unquote, experts, is about the breaking. It is about breaking down a corrupt system. It is about recognizing the divinity within yourself, and so much more. I could go on for a while, but the point is, I have absolutely. I'm probably not much more of a fan of whatever your that whole Lucifer is going on than you are.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly. And there's sort of a moment where the stutter completely drops out, and Drew is looking in the approximate direction of your face, which still isn't quite dead on.
Right.
It doesn't really matter whether or not you're sincere or you consider your professed allegiance to be a one of falsified dramatic lip service. Though those that swear their loyalty and profess as the power of hell is what and who I hunt.
Yeah, Satan and Lucifer aren't even the same person in Christian mythology. That's just
and
a common
vampires aren't werewolves. That doesn't mean they're both not demons.
All right, well, just to give you a little perspective here, I was before the brief time that the whole of us were together, and before you came around, I was the one arguing against sadism when we captured when we captured, and then we had an individual brought to us by the Tweedles. So you can take your personal misunderstanding of my belief system that at this point I'm only going to assume is willful since I've explained it. And if you want to keep going with that, fine, but it's on you now. Like any amount of responsibility on me has been lifted because I've given you the education. If you want to stick your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la, you're evil, that's on you. And she turns around and opens up the door.
As you open the door, I've probably gotten to... A man may drink and not be drunk. A man may fight and not be slain. A man may court a pretty girl and perhaps be welcomed back again. Oh look, everyone's back in. Gulk. As I've been singing the parting
Yep,
glass.
definitely need more of it.
and Eamon is sitting next to his brother with a very long-suffering look upon his face. So this has happened before. This will happen again. This is my family. You can't really always change that very quickly.
I think Paul is actually has searched around for a kettle, and is making coffee or tea or whatever caffeinated Nina would have in her apartment.
All right. And yeah, she walks in. She just walks over, grabs her guitar, and sits down and starts sort of a therapeutic thing from the looks of it, just idly playing something.
And
Oh,
for
Install
those
himself by the window.
for those listening, the prayer that Colleen has been muttering is actually in Chinese. She's been muttering to herself in Chinese for the past little bit.
I understand that prayers don't necessarily mean anything, but what does it sound like she's saying?
It's mostly a litany towards, it's not to any particular deity. It's a litany of self-control, a reminder of self, a reaffirmation of the mind. It's not the exact, but the I will not fear is the mind killer. Sort of style of Chinese affirmation of self and mental fortitude, sort of the calling upon the self to calm and strengthen the mind.
Got it.
Right, so are we keeping a watch out this from now on, or what?
I'll keep an eye. I will stay up and keep watch. Y'all can sleep.
Astrid is going to check on our house guest. Is he still unconscious?
He's got a stake in his chest. He's not going to wake up until you
Oh,
pull that
right.
out.
I forgot.
Snakes are really useful that way.
Oh, there is a window in the bathroom, so we should cover that with a blanket. I got that. We don't want to wake up to,
Oh yeah,
pile of ash.
There'd be a pile of ash in the bathroom. That'd be difficult.
or a fire or whatever.
I tend to just sort of melt away.
Right, well, if we're going to be turning in for the night...
If you've ever seen that movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's kind of like that, but with less fleshy bits.
I'm just saying there could be other kinds of vampires. You know every kind of vampire there is?
No, but I feel like he's not a particularly unique or special kind.
We're all special. No, I can't even say it. Anyways,
But we're all special in God's eye, yeah, sure, whatever.
No, we're really not.
All right, well, I'll see y'all in the morning. And Eamon wraps up his coat, his jacket, to use as a pillow, goes over, shoves Crowley over about 6 inches, lays down next to him, and goes to sleep.
I will continue leaning against the wall where I have sat down and eventually pass out mid-drink.
Astrid will just pass out on the floor.
Paul will take the watch. Nina, I know you had volunteered to do it. Paul will say, "Look, I'm probably not going to be getting any sleep. I've already got some caffeine back on board. Why don't you get some rest if you can?"
I'm probably not going to. I'm just gonna. You're fine. We can. Doubling up isn't the worst thing in the world.
I'd agree with you.
Um,
Are there views out both sides of the building, or are all the windows on one side?
Sorry, say that again.
I said, are all the windows on one side of the building?
Yeah, I don't imagine. Like, okay, I haven't played out the exact blueprints of my condo, but I don't imagine it takes up the entire top of the warehouse. So there's one side of window.
Fair enough.
So we sleep.
Yep. Nina writes.
So eventually Colleen falls back asleep in the midst of her prayers and does not seem to be struck by any more night terrors. And the night passes finally, relatively uneventfully into morning as you all get a night's rest. If any of you are still down to willpower, that comes back. We get one back. Any bashing damage will be gone.
Paul will put the coin over his eye to get it back.
Woohoo!
Yep. So when you wake up in the morning, the coin that you had left is now returned to you.
Okay.
All right, so what exactly is the plan we're having? What are we doing?
That's a really good question.
Like, are we sitting here watching her until Kingdom Come? Are we going to go out towards Walton County and try to find ourselves a white supremacist, ranch-owning vampire?
So here's the fun part, folks. Yeah, we need to go out there. I don't feel like we should. You don't generally bring the match directly into the room full of gunpowder.
No, it's a good place to. It's a good way to get your face blown off.
Yeah.
So you put the match in the gunpowder and you light it from a distance.
What I'm saying is bringing Colleen to the governor's mansion.
She just got out of there. We don't need to take her back there.
Thank you.
No.
We also don't want her not protected.
Well, I can think of a few places that are...
I have some people that I can potentially put her with, but I don't know. It's not that they wouldn't be willing, even knowing the situation. I'm a little somewhat hesitant to put her in the hands of people who aren't ridiculously prepared for, from the sounds of it, she's gonna be the briefcase and the money in the bank match. That's what I'm saying.
Well, a briefcase with money, that's also a bomb.
None of you really. Somebody has to.
I understood that, Colleen says.
God, so fuckable. I'm sorry. Anyways,
15.
I'm not doing it, am I? So
no, but you're off. You're talking about it at a loud volume.
Anyways,
I've got the porta booth in the van if you want it. Like I said.
Never mind. Moving on. Moving on. So the point is, everybody's going to be looking for her, and and I don't want to put her in the hands of people who might be able to hire, but are woefully unprepared for what's coming.
So, right. And no offense, I know that all of us are getting along really well and everything. I'm not sure that we've worked together long enough for us to necessarily trust each other's contacts unless it's someone who all of us know, like Jonas.
My thought was not that we send every one of us out to the Colonel. At the moment, we need to sort of get eyes on it, see what it's like, scout out the location. Some of us staying behind, some of us going there.
Is this the new persona you're working on?
Yeah,
I was gonna
the
say,
voice keeps changing.
that was really.
It went British. I went British.
That was a job. That.
It went British.
Sure.
Anyways.
It sounded more like Aries than anything else.
What I'm saying is we need to go out and have a look at the place and see what it looks like before we actually go in guns blazing.
And I apologize if I, as a player, am forgetting this. Do we know for sure that there is something other than Colleen that is part of the whole MacGuffin that's luring everything here?
No.
No, I think the thing we know for sure about that place is that there are white supremacist vampires and a guy who calls himself the Colonel.
All of whom needs to be killed,
that,
yes.
Yeah, exactly. Because they are a threat to Colleen.
Yeah.
And if we kill them, maybe the vampires will stop looking for specifically Colleen as the.
We also know that the Colonel specifically has been marshaling vampires into the city.
Yep.
Like he has been not just the Crimson Veil, but he himself has been a driving force in sending vampires in the city.
Correct.
Well, that takes care of one group, but Colleen, I didn't have a chance to mention, but it looks like your old friends are looking for you as well. And I'll describe the monk that Paul saw.
Yeah, that'd be Brother Vigilance, all right.
Do you think they'd be willing to listen to reason in terms of a?
Is there a Brother Patience and a Brother Temperance and all the others as well?
There's a Brother Kindness.
Is there a Brother Drunkard?
There's a Brother Kindness, and he's probably the one that I'd want to talk to out of all of them.
I don't. Sweetie, I don't think you should be talking to any of. I think we should be doing the talking for you.
Maybe, but I don't.
All right, who wants to scout? Yep, I saw that coming. I
mean,
yep.
Got a bunch of vampire hunters here, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was kind of obvious, but I don't know. Maybe Drew wanted to. I think no one's. Anyways,
Very funny.
But all right, so if you guys do the scouting.
How likely
do you
think it is that they know we're coming at this point?
Well, considering as far as we are aware, the only people that know that know the Colonel and have met us are either Ash or Staked.
Right.
Yeah,
So they might be suspicious that there's somebody out there that's causing them a bit of trouble, that there might be some level of competition in this whole scenario, but oh, shy, didn't you get was there any information on that phone? The phone that we got from the guy whose kappa I dictated.
Yes, there was. As I checked the phone, since I have it, but I do not recall the information. What was said information?
I like the phrase "kappa I dictated."
Oh no, there is some in the text.
Yeah. You remember? There was a text chain.
Very, very angry. Yeah. General Detillo said that she got out last night. Take 6 of the boys, go out and find her. Didn't we kill 6 vampires?
Yep.
7?
I
You
mean,
killed 7, which would be 6 plus
that
him.
seems to be accurate. She was last seen, and give the location. If you don't have the back before daylight, I will put you out in the sun and pee on your grave and
standard
shit
sort
on your
of
mother and
yeah.
so on.
macho bravado.
Go find her and clean your phone out before you go, which he very specifically did not do well enough. So,
Saludos.
you, Jackson.
Jackson Kappa. That's what we're calling him.
Jackson So yeah. So
Not with
then,
Rob.
sorry, go
Sorry.
ahead. I was gonna say an idea. Our 3 vampire hunters go vampire scouting. Don't take all the fun from us. Colleen, if you wanted to make contact with your old friends, where would you make contact with them?
That's difficult to say because usually they were just constantly around me, and typically we're not supposed to be separated from me.
There was no if you get lost, do this contingency plan?
Well, typically if I got lost, that would happen, she says, as a knock is at the door.
And the knives
Tell
are
me
back
that you
out.
made that
Did we
not
not
happen.
see anyone approaching?
Nope.
Right.
I pull out my shotgun in the shape of a revolver, walk over to the door, put the barrel of the shotgun against the door just to the right of the doorknob.
Hold on. I do have people. It might be for me.
I'm not firing just yet.
I know. I walk up to the door,
I grab the doorknob
look
and
through the peephole.
I wait for Nina to look.
There is what can best be described as a kindly looking old man with long white hair and a giant beard. He looks kind of like Santa Claus.
I mean, but not Rick Rubin, right?
No.
Because Rick Rubin looks like Santa Claus. Who is it?
You must be the ones who have managed to take dear Colleen away from danger. I am Brother Kindness.
Good for you.
Is this audible through the door to other people in the room?
Probably.
Colleen, what's Brother Kindness look like?
Kind of like Santa.
Yeah, okay. So you're
In like a creepy way?
No, like in a jolly old man with a long white beard kind of way.
Paul will also whisper.
Hallucinations happen while you're awake too?
Not usually.
But no, never.
I never say never.
Smart girl.
I tell you what, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you, but not here, not now. Give me your phone number if you have one. I will text you a location and time.
We'll meet you at the Sonic.
You're gonna have to apologize my a careful nature, but you don't seem to be very good at not putting people in danger. So
I definitely understand the caution, but I must inform you that I am not here to return Colleen to my brothers. I'm actually here to perhaps provide a bit of enlightenment and information to her on the life that she has led, and perhaps to you if you desire to continue to be her caretakers.
that's awesome. I still don't trust you when we're not having this conversation here.
If that is what you wish.
Do you have a phone?
I'm afraid not.
Fuck you.
Drew will pull out one of probably 4 burners and toss it in the
You
direction
know how
of the brother at
phones
the door.
work.
I will catch the phone while Nina's talking to Santa Claus on the other side.
I really wanted Drew to throw a phone and just smash it against a wall because
No, there's a guy with a shotgun at the door. He can handle any handovers that need to happen.
It's fair.
Paul will come up behind Nina and whisper, "Look, he's already here. We don't have to let him in. Maybe we just talk to him through the door."
I mean, we're not the most discreet of people as of now, but I would rather not be shouting this fairly privileged and potentially dangerous information through a door.
I'm not saying we shout it. Look, I understand your caution.
I make a hand gesture in the direction of the person I just threw a phone.
Do you know how to text?
I've been around the block a few times, and I am familiar with modern technology, yes.
I hand Nina the phone, and I open the door a crack.
Hand out phone. Hold on. Do you actually know the number for this one?
Yeah.
Okay, good. There you go. We'll text you a location and a time. Try not to die before then.
Close the door.
That's difficult.
Wait, are you already dead?
No, of course not.
So then why is it difficult?
Why would you say of course not when you know the kinds of people that we've...
He wouldn't be out in the daylight.
Well, no, zombies can be out in the daylight. As my accent changes again.
It's also not daylight yet.
Oh, I thought it was daylight.
Why would you say that's difficult then?
I mean, I think
Sorry.
it's daylight. We slept.
Yeah, you did sleep. So it's
okay.
morning.
I thought this was before we all settled in. Okay.
Sorry. Wrong context. It would be difficult for me to die before we got there.
Oh.
Okay. That's better.
Well, don't insert...
We're not going to test that theory right now.
Yeah. Insert appropriate cliched phrase here about I wouldn't count on that because, you know, I don't know.
He's old and could drop over at any minute. Is that what you're getting
I
at?
was thinking more like the army of monsters that has converged on this city. But by the way, an army of monsters is converging on the city, so be careful.
I'm quite aware, yes.
Okay. Later.
The door shuts.
The door's we hand out the phone and then close the shut. Yeah.
I wait and see. Wait until I hear footsteps walk away.
You don't hear footsteps walk away.
I look through the eye hole. The eyepiece.
He's not there.
Open door. Look out.
He's not there.
Get my head punched off.
There's varieties of things that he could feasibly be given the sort of information I've gotten so far, right?
Well, supposedly the order that were taking care of her were mages, which if he is one of that order, which it seems like, he would probably be a mage.
Yep.
All right.
But there's definitely possibilities that he could be other things.
Close the door.
Just like the general, yes, this is one of the things that categorizes as a demon for me.
Right.
Oh.
Close the door.
Yeah, I look back at Kalina. Sorry, babe, but if I realize that you very well may want to talk to him and get answers, but there's a certain amount of trust that I have here, and that level is 0.
No, I get it. I'm actually amazed that he managed to catch up that quickly. But I mean, brother kindness has always been sort of a step ahead of everyone else when it came to me. So
it's well. So,
and no, I didn't make that happen. I just kind of sensed that he was there.
didn't say that.
All right, well, we're going out vampire hunting.
Right.
Vampire scouting.
Same thing.
No, it's not. We just
Scouting's
had like a
apart.
5-minute conversation about why it wasn't.
Yeah.
Scouting is a part of hunting. You got to scout first
Okay.
and hunt.
It is.
Fair enough.
Just-
Yeah.
It is. Just don't hit climax.
I can't guarantee that. I'm out of the cloth after all.
Well, look, I'm sure that
Valid
you all have a
point.
great deal of experience with hunting and tracking and stalking and so forth. But really, what we're doing here is casing a place, and I do have some experience with that. Maybe I should come with you.
Okay, so you four go case out the place, and the two best friends here, putting my arm around her, we'll go talk to we'll go talk to the creepy old monk who kidnaps kids and protects them for their own good.
You know, honestly, I'm seeing the parallels between Santa Claus more and more now.
Right?
Astrid, do you think they'll stick to scouting?
What?
Do you think they'll stick to scouting?
I mean, I'm a little more concerned about Eilida. I'm a little more concerned about Astrid than I am the others.
I honestly, I don't even really know them well enough yet, but
You don't have to worry about it. Unless some sort of weird...
Take the scouting specialist, then you might actually do some scouting before you start murdering everything.
Unless a horde of, for some reason, alive during the daytime vampires decide that they really want to have a piece of action with us, we're just going to go looking out and making a plan of attack.
I'm just saying, look out for Renfields.
you don't have to worry. I'll keep an eye on them.
And we'll keep an eye on her.
Oh, I feel so much.
And only keep an eye on me.
Okay. Well, if everybody's watching everybody, then we should be okay.
Paul's
me.
just sort of sitting and listening, and he says, "Look, maybe I should just go by myself."
No. Paul, you need to. You need to go.
If you go by yourself, as I...
That accent's never coming back.
No, it's
far
never.
the most entertaining thing about this.
Yeah, it's me completely fucking up my accent. I gotta iron it in.
I appreciate it because unlike me, I should say, you managed to remain in the realm of accents that if they were consistent would be a character's accent.
I keep flipping between actual accents. It's just I keep flipping between them. We'll go... If Paul were to go by himself, as I completely can fuck it up entirely, I'm just going to go with it. If Paul were to go by himself, then unfortunately what would happen is vampires will come out, suck him dry, and we wouldn't have any information.
Yeah, no. All of you need to go because, okay, this is going to sound bad to everybody, but the three of you are probably really good at actually doing this. And Paul, I think you have somewhat of a conscience. So,
The man did profess to be a thief.
Or alternately,
I didn't say it was. I didn't say it was a
you
thief. I
all
said he had a
will, in other configurations, make incredibly monumentally poor decisions, except for that configuration of checks and balances.
Wow, and I thought I was being a dick.
I'm glad we've got this talked out, but where exactly is Colleen going to be?
That
them.
is our what?
I was pointing at the two of you, saying with them.
How confident are we in this brother kindness and in his expressed intent not to try to kidnap you?
Not.
again?
Honestly, I do actually have a little bit of trust with Brother Kindness. Of everyone in the order, I don't trust just about any. I really don't even trust you guys, if I'm going to be 100% honest.
That's fair.
Well,
But Brother
I mean,
Brother Kindness lives up to his name.
I understand, Colleen. but have you ever been to Sweden? Because there's a wonderful city there called Stockholm.
Hi, that's where. What's his name?
I know what you're implying, and
I'm
he's
not
not the one that I spent the most time with.
I know. I'm just saying, if you're.
We're gonna need some more information, and this one's come walking up and offering it, and you're setting the time and the location. So honestly, it's the best way that we're going to be able to get this.
Yeah. Fine.
You don't want to talk to me anyway, because apparently he's got some information for me specifically.
Yeah,
All right.
He did sort of mention that earlier.
Fuck. Okay.
Is there a specific reason he can't give it to you over the phone?
Apparently, he didn't have one.
Well, now he does.
Now he does. No. Union does enough stuff. With technology that I know damn well you don't talk about that kind of shit over the phone because somebody's listening.
Yeah, that seems like a bad idea.
Fine.
Secured, but it should be fine for sending just an address or a location.
All right. I can find a place that is as secure as no. We're good. We're fucking good.
I love the way that you've just hit upon this. Apparently, I'm kind of terrified of what you're thinking of now.
No. We will be having a conversation with Brother Kindness, and you will be 100% safe.
Okay.
And I am picking up the phone, and I am renting out some studio space for recording.
Oh, that makes sense.
A fucking recording booth is going to be the safest possible place. We put him inside. It locks from the outside. And we can have a conversation through goddamn soundproof plexiglass.
She's not wrong. They make good interrogation booths.
And it is the best of both worlds. It is a compromise.
Okay.
I think we have a plan.
One quick question. Could you point us in the right direction of the Cardinal's estate, please?
Yeah. Didn't we have it? Didn't we already have the...
We have... as far as I knew, we only had a general idea of a location, but she would know specifically where.
I mean, I thought we had a
name.
specific address.
We had an idea of a name. We didn't have a confirmation.
You were fairly confident you knew where the general area of various country homes that exist in that area of Georgia in Walton County.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I figured the person that escaped from it could confirm our guess.
And yes, Colleen confirms that you were in the right area and narrows it down to a specific patch of land.
Final question. Like thumb towards the bathroom.
Oh, he'll keep.
Okay.
He's not going anywhere.
I mean, we could take him with us.
Huh?
We could take him with us. Keep in the van.
You can do that too. That's fine. I mean, I'm not too worried about it. If anybody comes here who would actually free him, I would.
We'll just keep him in the van. It'll be safer.
Okay.
Wrap him up in trash bags, everything.
All right.
I go get
You've
trash
got
bags
an appointment. We've got an appointment. I think we're set and prepped.
I'll get trash bags out of the van and start wrapping the vampire up.
At some point, the places we leave this unconscious vampire are going to start making him smell, even though vampires don't have body odor.
I mean, vampires don't have body odor, but smell does attach to inanimate objects.
Yes, that is exactly my point.
Yeah.
Right now, he smells like Nina's bathroom.
Hairspray.
And it's just going to percolate inside the trash bag, too.
It's hairspray and a combination of incense smells.
And also probably all of the alcohol you apparently store in the bottom base of your truck.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah, it smells like... I mean, church wine, though, while it's corked, it's not going to pass the smell on.
Yeah,
Unless we,
but
like,
it's
open
not
up and
all-
spill it on him.
It's not all church wine. We know
Are
that at
you
this point.
honestly telling me that you have never been drinking when you go over a hump in the road and spilled all over that?
Of course not. You don't drink while driving. That's just irresponsible.
Yeah. Okay. You are absolutely right.
You drink, then you
should never
drive.
do
Or you
that.
drive, then you drink. You don't do both at the same time.
You're absolutely right. You should never do that.
You should also never
right, let's
drive
go.
from the cabin, like the back part of the van.
Just down a good slug or two. Is like, all right, who's ready for a motorcycle ride?
Fine.
Shit.
What?
Nope, we're not doing a motorcycle ride.
You
'cause
forgot
I
there were
can't
3
fit
of us, didn't you?
people on my motorcycle.
No, you can't take 3 people and a dog on
I
a...
think the only thing...
As the Uber app is opened.
I'll say, yeah, the only other vehicle... The only more than two-wheeled vehicle we have is the van.
Paul says, I really think it's time probably for me to just rent a car.
You
Hey,
guys
you're
are
fine.
kind of set up like a biker gang, by the way. You have like 3 bikes and a van that would probably, in a biker gang, house all of the equipment used to fix said bikes.
Yeah, we got the mechanics van. Except that it's painted with Lydia Lords on the side. And plays
I
Ave
mean,
Ave Maria down the street.
That means it couldn't be a biker gang van.
That sounds really cool until you look and see who the members of this gang are.
I mean, you're more interesting than most of the people that I've hung out with for 15 years.
Yeah.
We need to talk about low bars someday. All right, are we ready to go?
We load up the brothers Mulcahy, Paul, Astrid. You want to ride with us? Or you want to ride on your bike?
I'll ride with you guys.
And I'll drive. Get in. Get everything loaded up. Get the vampire loaded up in the back. Head out.
Pew.
Flip on the loudspeakers again.
Ave Maria plays again, blasting through the streets.
I look over here. See, you could be going with them and dealing with that. It was to both of them. Worth mentioning.
So, Uber?
Yeah, I will. I'm waiting until they have gone so that the Uber doesn't see the creepy Jesus van outside, because that'll be
It's
bad for my
Mary,
rep.
thank you very much, not Jesus.
Not better.
A little better.
Possibly worse. Because a Jesus, a big Jesus logo outside on the outside of the van could just be people who think the image look cool. If it's Mary, then it's definitely somebody who's actually devout, which makes it worse. Yeah, and and I will text give the name of whatever recording studio I can rent an hour and a half at. And then
I can send him or text him the address.
yeah.
Actually, there's a recording studio that I've used for VO stuff that would, if we're looking for actual names of places.
Don't most, I don't actually know if these exist anymore, but don't most garage band locations have a rentable
I mean, I
mean,
feel like whatever that special
Power
union
picture.
thing that
I don't know.
Nina gets to change from
Yeah,
chapter to
that's
chapter.
basically what I'm
Probably what we're doing
little
here.
help from my friends or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Your
Not
friends and neighbors.
Yeah.
And yeah, and no, I'm specifically looking for a small studio because the big studios have multiple rooms that are rented out to that multiple people will be at.
So you call in your favor for a 1 dot safe house, basically.
Yep. With very
So-
little space and any of that, but a really particular beneficial feature.
Yeah, that's fair. The union, you know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
Yep.
Who has a recording studio that they're willing to rent to you for cheap. So you set out the conversation, and we'll start with that before we end for the week. So, as you arrive at the location after having given the text, you step inside and find that Brother Kindness is already inside, sitting in the recording booth, just kind of sitting and waiting for you.
Oh, good. You understand how this is going to work.
Of course.
I appreciate your willingness. You'll excuse me, walk over, close the door, lock the door, bar the door, etc.
He sits and waits.
Slowly push a file cabinet in front of the door. Somebody want to give me a hand with this?
Your 2 people to give you a hand are 16 and kind of noodly.
I
Fine.
have 2 dots of strength. I can help you in the
Yeah.
file cabinet.
And then flick on the speaker or the
Intercom.
yes, that's the word I was trying to think of. It's 8:50.
11:48.
So,
So
I suppose now is the time for me to explain a few important details.
I mean, I'm not going to, so somebody needs to.
Well, yes. Well, let's begin with introductions for those of you who are not familiar. I am, as I said previously, Brother Kindness, he says. And before you is this very Santa Claus figure dressed in a sort of long, very simple brown robe, sort of very long white hair and a big bushy white beard. Relatively rotund, but you can see because the robe is armless, his arms are heavy more with muscle than weight. He's definitely, while he has that sort of roundness to his frame, is definitely very clearly physically powerful as an individual. He definitely does not look frail in any way. I am Brother Kindness, and I was one of the many watchers sent to overlook our young Colleen as she grew through many tumultuous years and came into contact with and developed powers that are rather unique to her case.
Yeah, about that.
Yes?
Oh no, that was the point where you explain. Like, what I will admit to not being an expert on everything, but that's kind of new to me.
Yes.
And I think my friend here as well.
Well, I suppose to truly explain enough of Colleen's situation to allow proper actions to be taken, I will have to start from the beginning of how her situation came to be.
Okay.
Which means that I will have to begin with the misadventures of one particularly unfortunate mage by the name
of Alexander the Fate Weaver and his adventures with a device that he has named the God Machine. And that's where we're going to end for the week.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.